Sodom and Gomorrah, and every American has reason to be alarmed.
I am at the gym in Arizona. He was undressing in the locker room, top off, bra off, and Paul Bixler was in the women's locker room, and he looked at me, and he looked at my breasts, and I have called the police.
It's mind-boggling to hear that a biological male will freely come into the women's dressing room and look at a lady in broad daylight. America has lost all sense of decency and civility.
You shall not lie with a male as one lies with a female. It's an abomination. It's an abomination to dress like the opposite sex. It's an abomination to have some kind of sex change, altering of your body. It's an abomination to have a relationship with someone of the same sex. You shall not lie with a male as one lies with a female. It is an abomination. And it's right alongside having intercourse with an animal. And the land, he says, will be defiled. Don't defile yourselves, verse 24. For by all these the nations which I'm casting out before you have become defiled. There's Romans 1. That's why that judgment comes. Because of these kinds of perversions. God abandons and then judges nations. I don't know how much time America has left. I really don't. But we're on a course described here as God casting us out. The land has become defiled. I've brought its punishment upon it, verse 25. So the land has spewed out its inhabitants.
Someone who commits this type of crime is known as a voyeur, aka Peeping Tom, and you would expect he would be locked up in jail. Well, not anymore, and not even the cops could arrest him.
Until recently, he's used the men's locker room. So he agrees himself that he's a man. I have told the police that I was in the locker room. A man was in there. I was getting undressed. He looked at me. He is a man in the women's locker room. And the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society.
Unbelievable. This is a touchy, sensitive issue in society? When did committing a crime by invading a woman's privacy become a touchy and sensitive issue? When a nation abandons God, this is what follows. God leaves them to their lust and debauchery.
As in the 40s and the 50s, Albert Kinsey came along and fabricated lies saying 1 out of 10 people in America were genetically homosexual. American Psychiatric Association declassified sodomy as a sickness, and now it's not only acceptable, but it's advocated.